The way you see the world can turn an ordinary moment into something epic. A low angle makes even the toughest climbs feel powerful and unstoppable, while a high angle gives you freedom, a sense of control over the world around you. The way we choose to frame our world changes everything. It's all about perspective, just like filmmaking. Hey, I'm Luke and welcome to my 60-day challenge, where I'm learning everything about videography, from camera angles to storytelling techniques, so I can go from zero to pro. And you know what? Just like filmmaking, cycling is all about perspective. Every time I get on my bike, the way that I look at the ride completely changes how I feel. Is it a challenge, an adventure, a race against time? It all comes down to how I view it. And that's exactly how camera angles work in filming. The right angle can turn an ordinary shot into something epic. Today I'm gonna tell you how perspective changes everything about filmmaking, just like it changes everything about my bike. Perspective. It's how we view the world around us. We all have different perspectives based on our backgrounds, experiences, and beliefs. I mean, take me for example. Born in Canada, I had a pretty comfortable upbringing. But what if I grew up in a different part of the world, like Nepal? Imagine growing up under a bridge with drug-addicted parents and being rescued by an orphanage. That's Ravi's story. A boy I met who was born into circumstances completely different than mine. When I met Ravi, he'd been out of that situation for about 2 years. And you know what? He was the brightest, happiest kid in the entire orphanage. His smile could light up the entire room. It's no wonder Ravi appreciated happiness more than most. He came from such a difficult background that now he just didn't take joy for granted. His perspective on life had been shaped by real hardship, but it also made him appreciate the good things with a depth that many of us with much easier lives might not fully grasp. And that's exactly what I'm getting at. Just like in life, the way we use our camera angles can completely shift how our audience experiences the story we're trying to tell. It's all about framing the world from a different point of view. And just like Ravi's journey, perspective shapes everything. Okay, yes, perspective is everything in film, but you also came here to learn about angles, composition, and shot types. So let's kick things off right and start with the wide shot. This lets you see the full picture. It establishes the scene and shows context. Next, the medium shot. Here you get a closer look, but still plenty of context. But now you're focusing a little bit more on the subject. And of course, the close-up. This shot brings the viewer up close, focusing on the details and the emotions. If you had a close-up shot on a bike ride, you could really feel the ride. Angles do more than just frame the shot. They completely change how we feel about the subject. Just like in cycling, the perspective in which you view the journey can really change how you see the challenge ahead. Take this low angle shot. It displays the feeling you get when you're going through a challenging ride. Low angles show power, strength, and control over your surroundings. But now let's flip the script. Same ride, same position, same day, but from a different angle. From up here, I feel small, a little bit more vulnerable. The road ahead looks more uncertain. With angles from above, they not only give us a bird's eye view of what's going on, but they ground us. They make us realize how small we are, but that we fit into the grander picture of things, almost making the challenge feel bigger. And just like in cycling, these perspective shifts change how we experience the journey. Low angles show power and control, while high angles show a sense of vulnerability, a sense that we're part of the grander picture of things. Even from this angle, you're looking at me a little bit down and I'm a little bit up. This psychologically gives you a sense that I know what I'm talking about because you're looking at me from a low angle. Before we dive more into the technical stuff, let's take a step back and talk about what composition actually is. In filmmaking, composition is how we arrange the elements within the frame. It's about choosing where to place the subject, the background, and everything in between to create a visually appealing and meaningful shot. The way we compose the shot can change how the audience feels, how they perceive the story, and even how they connect with the subject. When you watch a movie, you may not always notice composition, but it's there, guiding your attention, setting the tone, and even telling you how to feel. Good composition helps the story flow, while bad composition just distracts you. Think of it as a visual language of film, where every frame is carefully arranged to guide the viewer's emotions and understanding of the narrative. And as I cycle into the city today, we're not just gonna understand what composition is, but we're gonna understand why composition is so important to tell an incredible story. So let's jump right into the rule of thirds. By dividing the frame into a 3x3 grid, we can place the subject at the intersecting lines so that we create more movement and feel to the shot, just like this. I mean, this is an okay example, but I've done this many times in the videos before. Leading lines are another essential tool. They guide the viewer's eyes to the subject or to the horizon, creating a sense of direction or purpose. I mean, take this path as an example. Look how it leads you straight to me so that you feel more inclined to listen to me because the camera is leading you into my direction. Now, framing is all about using your environment to create frames around your subject, almost like a picture within a picture. Look at how these shots use framing. It draws your eyes in, focusing on the road ahead while adding depth to your scene. Light and shadow can also play a big role in composition. The way that light interacts with an environment can add texture and mood to the shot. Shadows, as an example, can create contrast and intrigue, while light can highlight the most important elements. And finally, depth. Depth in a shot is about layers: foreground, middle ground, and background. This archway, for an instance, creates a sense of space and movement, making the shot feel more three-dimensional, drawing you deeper into the scene. As I wrap up this video, remember, perspective can shape everything. Whether you're riding a bike, telling a story, or shooting a video, it's all about how you see the world. And your perspective can make your work stand out, making a simple shot feel dramatic or a quiet moment full of meaning. And honestly, I've been learning it for the last few years about how important perspective is. And I'm really learning it each and every day in this journey to become a professional videographer. It's a process after all, but I'm sharing it with all of you so you can get started with me too. So how can you change your perspective today? Think about how you can experiment with your composition and camera angles to tell a different story. Drop your comments below. I'd love to hear what you come up with. And remember, the world is full of stories just waiting to be told. So get out there and start filming.